Alright, hopefully the guinea pig gods will smile upon this.
Otter! Fox!
Otter and fox. And I've got a towel. I better actually use this fleece blanket. You know, you never know what's going to happen. It really is imperative that you wrap your hand in something very thick in case you have to stop a fight. Your instinct is to put your hand in the middle, and that's no good. Alright. Remember, I have an entire bonding playlist where I share the insights about guinea pig behavior. There's a lot of subtle behavior, and there's a lot you can learn from watching each one, because each bonding is different. There are norms, there are certain things that we expect to see, and what we consider to be normal social behavior, but each one of these is different. So, and famously Saskia says that humping is how guinea pigs shake hands. Now this little otter is a couple months old, and so he's no longer a baby. This is not considered a baby, so really I don't know if it's 50-50 or if it's more like there's only a 20% chance, but he's acting basically like an adult or a teenager. The only advantage is that I can't imagine he would be threatening to Fox. Okay, Timby. Don't mess this up. So, humping is how they shake hands. This spinning around and rumbling is normal. The poops flying is normal. The goal we want to see is that they lay down, or that they share, they focus on the hay. And of course this is a ticking clock, so any minute, every minute that goes by where there isn't a fight, where there isn't awkward behavior, which I'll talk about in a second, that's a win. So we want them to lay down, we want them to eat, we want them to, the humping behavior is normal. We want them to basically chill like they would if they were bonded. Right? So that means eating, napping, and just pretty much not being stimulated by each other. Now, we've got this guy over here causing a fuss. So I've got to cover him over. Stop. Because I don't want him to interfere right now in this. Or Timby. You can't see, but I just put a blanket over the other boy because he was chattering his teeth. Timby, you also are going to make this bad by your squawking. So, now we're starting to see a little awkward behavior. So what we don't want to see is what we're seeing: tooth chattering, aggressive behavior. And now that I've put my protection, I need to find something else to wrap my hand in. A little tooth chattering is not the end of the world. It's just kind of smack talking. It's just sort of like the first stage of I'm warning you. Awkward behavior would be like weird body language, either a pose that seems scared or ultra aggressive. The tooth chattering's not good. The swaying the butt isn't good. That's how they make themselves look bigger. But it's not the end of the world. So we've gone 5 minutes now. with just a little awkward behavior, but, you know, they're not in each other's faces. And Fox is pretty chill. He's been through a lot, unfortunately, over the last few weeks. And he has been known to be somewhat aggressive, but I can't imagine he would be too aggressive against this little boy. The little boy seems a bit threatened. He might try to hump him, but he's still recovering from tooth issues. Now, they both have their hair kind of frizzed up, which isn't great. But if we can focus on the hay, I'm going to add some herbal blends to the hay. Let's see what I got. Now, I just like this in general, right? This is the Small Pet Select Flower Power. There's nothing that we can do to prevent a fight if it's going to happen. So you see I'm sprinkling some of that on there. That should make for some interesting smells. Now, okay, this is looking like, regardless, it's Fox is getting more aggressive. I'd really like these guys to get along. I wouldn't say that Fox was being overly aggressive. He wasn't tooth chattering. He was just trying to do some humping, and that scared Otter. So Otter's a little defensive, but look, if Fox can start eating hay, if Fox can not be too aggressive, he's got his fur fluffed out, which is not great because it's freaking Otter out, and we don't want that, but this is normal. Now, it's a good workout too for them. And I always say that if you cannot find a match for your boy, and you've tried and tried and tried, or you simply don't have a place where you can do no commitment guinea pig play dates, guinea pig bondings like this, like a dedicated rescue, then a pair of boys living side by side is fine, as long as they have a minimum of 8 square feet, and you can put them together and let them play. You wrap your hand, and if they can make it 5 minutes, great. If they can make it an hour before somebody gets upset, great. And they can enjoy each other's company. So this is actually good because Otter is, his chattering is kind of like, now if it was strictly, and I have a video called How to Speak Guinea Pig. So if you're curious about all the subtleties of the sounds and learning them in a way that can help you understand and communicate with your piggies in their language, check that video out, How to Speak Guinea Pig. But when you hear like that, that is kind of, I wouldn't say upset. When it goes very staccato, then piggies are upset. But he was sort of being chased. You know, the wah, that is, he's somewhat upset, but not really scared, or I wouldn't say it's like a fight or flight. And so we got to just watch what Fox does. Fox chases him. He wants to hump him, or at least kind of show that he's dominant. You may notice, and I've talked about this before, some pigs will they'll do a humping thing, but then they'll do a thing where they put their chin on top of a piggy's head or somewhere, and they kind of just nuzzle them for 1 second. That's like a shorthand for a hump. That's just sort of like, I'm owning you. So then it stops, then it starts again. What we want is for them to calm down. Now, I'm running out of space on my phone here, so I gotta pause it and delete some old files, long videos that I don't need to make some more space. But I think this is actually going okay so far. It could end up dissolving, or they could end up both eating hay and taking a nap, which is what we hope. And that's why I set up this playpen, to do this in a neutral territory. And it's actually a lot easier to clean this little playpen pad than to do a whole cage clean. So it looks like we got a fly in here. We've had a lot of rain out here, and it's the end of the fall season, and we've had a couple flies, which is no fun. I try to catch them and let them outside whenever possible. So this is good. Look, Fox is starting to eat. They're both eating. They're building trust. I'd like to think that the herbal blends created a little bit of interest. I have a coupon code for new customers. If you've never tried Small Pet Select, use the coupon code. It's down in the description of all my videos, and it's also on the homepage and the diet section of my care guide. And just stock up. If you get a whole bunch of these, and you don't have to dump it out, you saw how I just used a pinch. That's all you need, is a pinch. This stuff will last a long time. They got a bunch of different flavors or different blends, and my piggies really love them. And especially for pigs with tooth issues, or pigs that are underweight, or pigs that are spoiled, that, you know, maybe you've got a pig that only eats pellets, or maybe you've got a pig that doesn't eat pellets. Whatever they don't eat, you sprinkle a little hay or a little herbal blend like on the hay, or you can mix some into the pellets. You can even sprinkle it on fresh chopped veggies. Whatever you're trying to entice them with, these herbal blends are a game changer. I really, 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 really love them. And Small Pet Select is such a great company to support. They've been supporting the LA Guinea Pig Rescue for many, many years, especially in times of crisis when they end up having to take hundreds of animals in like a hoarding situation like they just did. All right, I'm going to pause it here and make some space on my phone, and we'll check back in and see how they're doing. No, don't start chattering. Look at all this delicious hay you have. Now, I've got another video called You Can't Bond Guinea Pigs. You can't bond guinea pigs. And the point of that video, but I suggest that you watch it if you want, it's in the bonding playlist, is that it's up to them. If you want to make sure a bonding doesn't go well, you could bond them in a really tiny space, like less than 2 square feet. I think a Midwest size, 8 square feet, is a good one. Or the size of the cage that they're going to be in, 10 square feet. I like to do it neutral, without any funky smells. But ultimately, it's up to them. People message me a lot, like, you know, what can I do to get my piggies to bond? Well, you can pray for a miracle and have the right bonded pair. It's a numbers game, and it's all about luck, and that's why I have so many single boys. Believe me, in the guinea pig world, and especially the rescue world, if we could put a bunch of boys together, then we would do that, because it would save a lot of lives, and it'd be a whole lot easier for rescues and shelters to house piggies. They have to house all the boys separately that haven't come in bonded because the chances of them fighting are pretty high. So we're going to keep on watching them. And things are, okay despite the verbal complaints. Foxy, leave him alone and eat some hay. And you can get your nose out of his butt for a minute. Show him that you can give him his space. Good boys. Come on. So, we're going to just let them do their thing for a little while. This is my tripod. So, we're going to just let them do it. If I'm not hovering over them like a hawk, it might make them feel a little bit more confident. And then in a few minutes, I'll put like a fiddlesticks wooden tunnel in there. That gives them something to interact with, something to claim, something to fight over. So you see what he's doing right now. You can't really hear. He's rumbling. His whole body is vibrating. And that's just a dominance social behavior. And often you will see peaks and valleys. You'll see like a high energy moment, and then they'll go back to being calm, and that's good, right? So if Fox now, after chasing for a few seconds, he eats some hay, then that's a good sign. He kind of sniffed it, and he's like, back to chasing. At this stage of the introduction, chasing is the dominant drive right now, impulse. It's hard to focus on hay, even hay that's been sprinkled with delicious herbal blends, when there's a new piggy to chase around. But we're looking to see that Otter's confidence is growing, that his trust is growing. So, the importance of these videos, or the reason why I make them, is to help you understand what you're seeing. It's hard enough to bond boys, but I would hate for, number one, people to give up too early, and number two, for people to do the opposite and ignore the signs. If blood is drawn, then it's over. The chances of two boys recovering after one of them gets bit. Did you see that right there? Fox just did the nuzzle the chin on the back of Otter's head. So if you go back 10 seconds, you'll see that. And that's just sort of like, I don't have to hump you because I own you. So I hope you guys find this interesting. These play-by-plays, they can get very long. Boy bonding can sometimes take hours, can sometimes take days before you're comfortable. And sitting here for that long can be tiresome. But when it's active, I find it to be fascinating and very interesting. And everything hangs in the balance. I'm trying to get these two guys together because right now all my cages are full. I want Fox to have somebody because he just lost Shrimp. And also, stay tuned because there's a new pair of boys that need to find a home that we're all familiar with, that I've had on my radar for a while, that are kind of in trouble. So I need to figure out if I can bond some of these boys to create an open space. So, if you heard this baby boy, who's not really a baby, but if you heard him, the way he's chattering, he's just sort of complaining. But people might say, oh, he's so upset, he's stressed out, I can't have my pig stressed out. Don't apply your emotions, your anxieties, your sense of boundaries onto these guys, because it's different for them. And that's part of why I have these videos, to help you see what's appropriate, what's not appropriate, where to draw the line. And some people might say, this is going horrible. And I would say it's actually going pretty good. So let's watch this interaction right here. Chase, chase, chase. Can Fox stop chasing him in a minute and then go back to eating hay? Without us intervening? You want to stay out of it until it's time to draw the line. Occasionally you can get in there and you can tell them it's okay. You can point to the hay. You can encourage them. I wouldn't be petting them and holding them, picking them up and putting them down during this process. It seems like it's cute and fun, but it's very serious for them. So just let them do their thing. So there's a lull here. Can Fox just be chill? Go back to eating some hay for a minute? Now I think it's okay to make a chewing sound. That's what I do. It's an encouraging sound. Piggies have the fear of missing out, right? So if somebody's eating, they want to eat too, because one of them could vacuum all of this delicious hay and herbs up, and then they won't have any for themselves. So I think it's okay to make that sound. You obviously don't want them to mistake that sound for a tooth chattering, you know. I've had piggies side by side, one of them starts tooth chattering, and then everybody starts getting upset. But if you say, come on boys, eat some hay, so you see the space between them, that's good. You know, yes, these videos tend to be longer than my regular videos. Sometimes I will speed things up so you can see it in high speed. But I think it is worth having some of these videos with the commentary. And I really believe that if you watch videos like this, especially on boy bonding, you become a boy guinea pig behavior expert pretty quickly, because there's a lot of subtle stuff. Like Otter, he's still nervous. He doesn't trust Fox, and with good reason. But Fox has been really good, and everything that Fox has done so far, everything Fox has done is within normal guinea pig social behavior. So, and another thing is, if you're going through this and you have had a piggy single for a really long time, look at this, they're eating hay together, this is great. But if you've had a pig that's been single for a long time, and people tell me this, they come in, they got their pig like a year before, or even longer sometimes from the pet store, and they've never tried to bond them, their piggy has never seen another guinea pig, and I tell them, you're about to see a side of your piggy that you have never seen before. And sometimes it could be anything. Usually it's they start doing the normal humping behavior, the chasing, this stuff like this, and they're like embarrassed, or they're mortified that their pig is a humper, or whatever the case may be. Sometimes it's their pig is incredibly frightened of all pigs that they are around, or they are extremely aggressive. But this has been, Fox is being basically a normal piggy. And so it's really about dynamics. If he's behaving this way, and he was with another pig that was relentlessly humping back, and Fox wanted to be more dominant, then they might end up going to a fight. Good matches can be made when both piggies are humping equally. Then they get over it, they lay down, they share. There doesn't always have to be a dominant and submissive. The degrees to which one may be more dominant and one may be more submissive can vary. That's why it's so fascinating, because just like people, every relationship, every bond that is formed is unique. And it's just whether or not it's stable and harmonious, not about who fulfills what role. So this is going pretty good. I'm going to pause it again here. I need to get a load of fleece in. I need to clean a couple other cages over here. But I'm going to keep an eye on them. And I predict that it's going to basically be like this for a little while longer. Chasing and humping with intermittent snacking. And we're hoping for that ratio to kind of flip. More snacking, more munching, leading to napping. If we see any grooming. Oh, look, Otter sort of plopped down a little bit. That's a really good sign. Laying down is good. They're both eating right now. This is very, 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 very good. Remember, it's only a 20% chance that a pair of boys are going to get along. So that's why I always say, you pick, if you're at a shelter or if you're at a rescue where they allow play dates, you pick a couple in the order that you wish. You pick your favorite first, and if they match, if they bond, if they get along harmoniously, then that's the one you take home. Because I don't know about you, but if there was only a 20% chance crossing the road that I wasn't going to get hit by a car, I'd be pretty fearful about those odds. Okay, so Otter is grooming himself while Fox is eating hay. The importance of Otter grooming himself means he's willing to let his guard down. If you were in the middle of some kind of West Side Story dance fight, you wouldn't bust out your comb and start combing your hair or, touching up your makeup, because you're vulnerable. So the fact that he's grooming himself and being vulnerable, he's building trust. This is really, really good. So I really wanted them to get along. I tried some of my other boys first because I have some other single boys that have been here longer, and it did not work. But I really wanted these two. When I lost Shrimp, and then this guy needed a home, I thought, man, it would be great if they could go together. He spent about 5 days on antibiotics, which is not long, but I wasn't hearing any issues anymore, and there's no reason to keep him on it unless I'm seeing any issues. Normally you'll do like a 10-day course or even up to 2 weeks, but I just didn't think it was necessarily needed. But I will keep an eye on him and listen to his breathing. His poops went from orange to normal poops now, so that's really good. I'm not worried about him and what he's been through. That's a thing to admire about guinea pigs. They are so resilient, even though they are put through so much stuff. People and the ways in which we collectively as a society abuse animals is heartbreaking, because it just seems like any animal that can be bought or sold, any animal that is bought or sold, they so frequently get dumped. And there's just so many homeless animals right now, from turtles and lizards and birds dogs, cats, rabbits, and of course guinea pigs, fish, every animal that can be bought and sold in our cities and rural areas. I think the rural areas might even be, it's more of a predicament because people think they can just abandon them out in the middle of nowhere and no one will know. Rural areas have less access to vets. There are fewer dedicated rescues. Rural areas tend to have, just in general, much less support. People are farther away from each other. The only upside, I think, is that in rural areas, the communities may be more tight-knit, which can lead to better outcomes whenever communities have strong bonds. But we're doing what we can. We may not be able to change the tide, but we can save some fish. So, what a weirdo. So, let's watch this real quick. I know I keep saying I'm going to pause it, but like I said, this stuff is so fascinating. We really, Otter is protesting, but he's not chattering, he's not being defensive, he's just kind of running away the way he's supposed to. And let's just see if Fox can calm down. Because that's what it's depending on. Is them building trust, Fox giving him enough space. Because at a certain point, whoever's being chased could become too upset, become defensive. But everything that Fox has done is totally within a normal guinea pig behavior. So that's part of what I want from these videos, is to help you understand what's appropriate, what's normal. I realize that, with more than 50 bonding videos and videos about bonding, it could take years to get through all of the information, which is why I hope you'd subscribe and watch these videos as we make them, as they come out. I think as a community, we're all growing, we're all learning. And I continue to challenge my assumptions. I saw something amazing once that was on a sign in front of one of those Unitarian churches. And it said, "Life is not a dogma to be defended, but a reality to be explored." And so I'm not teaching dogma here. The bonding rules are rules that I have learned by observation over the years. And what I love, I don't recommend a trio for boys. Most guinea pig rescues do not recommend a trio. But of course, as you know, at the Los Angeles Guinea Pig Rescue, we have a Buddha pen with a bunch of boys that get along. Now, they're mostly older and have health issues, which tends to make pigs more docile. But I love hearing, I have a trio of 3 boys that came from the same litter, and they're 2 years old, they've been getting along, there's no issues. That's great, but that is an exception. But I love hearing about the exceptions. But for me personally, I have some really great stable bonded pairs. I would not try to introduce a third in hopes in the less than 10% chance that they would end up making a trio, because a bonded pair is so rare to begin with. But at the rescue, or whenever, if there's a trio that comes in, we generally want to leave them together until they prove that they can't or shouldn't be together or have a falling out. So that's my philosophy on it, and I'm always open to learning more. Okay. Come on, Fox. Focus on hay. All right, I'm going to pause this here. See if they can settle, and then we can pause this and we can come back in a few minutes. Fox, give him a break. Fox. Little butt sniffing is normal. It's all normal. He's doing really good. And I'm actually happy that Otter, I thought he was going to be much more humpy than he is. The fact that he's submissive and fast means that he can get away. Fox is not being overly aggressive, so it means that they can have their social interactions, and instead of it coming to a fight, they can separate quickly without any hurt feelings. Well, Otter, he was eating. You see, that's funny because Fox was trying to eat some hay, and Otter sticks his nose in his face. And so now Fox's hair is flared, and he's rumbling. He's like, oh, you want to get in my face? Then I'll show you I'm the boss. But I think this is all still good-natured. He did that little chin on top of his back again. So, all right. It's going to continue to be like this. So I am going to pause it as soon as they can calm down. If they did fight, I would hate to miss it. Well, I won't miss it personally, but I would hate to turn the camera off and have them lose it, because I think it is important to see when a good thing goes bad, and I've got tons of videos about that. You never know how this is going to go. That was a big, healthy poop that Fox just put out there. Fox, try to eat some hay. Good. And if Otter can just leave him alone, see, Fox goes to eat hay, and then what? Otter comes and sticks his nose in Fox's face. So, okay, he stopped and lulled and ate for... Did you just eat your poop? He's covering his poop. When he moves, let's see if he ate his poop or if he's eating the hay next to his poop. Gross. Fox, let me see. Did you eat it? If he moves and that piece of poop is gone, then we know what just happened. Fox, move him. Yep. He just ate. Gross. All right. On that note, we're going to pause it here. And thank you guys for sticking with this. If you're maybe listening and casually watching as you're doing some work, that might be a good way to really learn about subtle guinea pig behavior. But, you know, maybe it's the evening time and you're sitting down with your favorite adult beverage and you're taking bets. I feel like, now I wouldn't want any kind of guinea pig fighting in Vegas, but videos like this, you never know if they're going to bond, if they're going to a fight, when that fight would happen. You know, it's like we could have a fantasy guinea pig bonding league. All right. So we're going to pause it here and we'll come back and hopefully it's been good news. But really, so far so good. As I said before, every minute that's gone by, we're past the 30-minute mark and I haven't seen any really scary aggression. So this is really boding well. All right. Wish them luck. Not more than a minute after I turned this thing off, he laid down, which was really awesome. Look at that. And Fox is over here on the other side, sniffing a pea spot. Aren't guinea pigs lovely? So, we're going to just let them chill. Good boy, Otter. Did I say Otter? I'm so confused. Lay back down. Otter, lay down. Lay down, buddy. Oh, he just yawned. You gonna take a nap? Take a nap with your new friend. Fox, you be good. Don't go harass him. Nope, did you see that? He's just like, I don't have to hump you. I don't have to chase you. I'm gonna just rub my chin on your head and then wipe my butt in the corner. Yeah. He couldn't resist. I don't know what that was. I don't think that was a problem, though. Alright, we're back in the tripod. Guys, I really don't want to... I want to go clean some cages and do my thing. Alright, break it up, break it up. Fox! So this is something that I could do. Fox! Come on, boys. Eat some hay. Come on. Foxy Poo. Come on. Eat some hay. Good boys. He's like, dude, I just want to chill. He's like, can I lay down without you messing with me? Really good, though. Fox, you eat some hay now. Fox! Not the hay that's in his mouth. And I said it before, but I'll say it again. This is all normal behavior. And sometimes people, they react negatively when they see a different side of their piggy. The piggy that you thought was a sweet little cuddle bug is now turning into an aggressive jerk. This is normal. And you cannot take your emotions out on them. Treat them any differently. Otter tried to lay down. That was really good. He's building trust and confidence. And he's left enough funky pee spots to distract Fox. Aren't they delightful? Yes, they're delightful, disgusting little creatures. Alright, we're pausing this for real. Alright, see you in a few minutes. So this is like one of the milestones you're looking for. Doesn't matter how long it will last, but look at that. That's a good sign. Of course, they get up immediately. Oh, you're gonna get up? Then I'm gonna get up. Look, he's back down. Fox, he's back down. You should lay down now. Fox, you should lay down. You know, every time I try to go into the other room and do some cleaning, they do something that's good. And then they go crazy again. So I'll try to capture these positive milestones, but I'm going to get back to work. So I just added these two little soft tunnels. They are from Fox's cage. And this is to sort of simulate that they're each going to have their own space, that they don't have to be like annoying each other, and maybe they can just chill. But it also is an opportunity for them to get really like possessive. So this can be an inflection point. But it also provides like strategic, you know, if one of them doesn't want to interact with the other, they can just get in there. But so something like this, you know, they're like toddlers. So they may all get along until you introduce a toy, right? But really, Otter is being quite resilient. And Fox is being normally dominant. This is totally within the realm of normal social behavior. And it doesn't seem to have had a profound impact. They're using them, but it doesn't seem to have all of a sudden turned on a switch and made them crazy. But these are the kinds of things that they're going to have in an enclosure when they live together. And if they actually sit in the same one together, then that shows that they can actually get along and trust each other. All right. I'm going to clean Gus's cage and Toby's cage, and we will check back. Hopefully we'll find them napping. Look at that. Yep, that's where we want to be. It's only been another couple minutes. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Good, good, good. Let's hope this... This is where the joy comes from, right? The possibility that these two little monkeys can coexist. Like I said, that'll help free up a space so that I can get this pair of piggies that really need some help right now. Please, if you haven't subscribed and you've made it this far, please subscribe. It helps the channel grow. It helps the channel reach new people who are learning about guinea pig care. And you won't miss anything. And hit that like button. Man, because a video like this could really, I think, enlighten a lot of people. Man, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Woo, woo. Does this make you happy? It makes me happy. All right. But I'm like a helicopter piggy dad. But look at this. This is what we want to see. Fox is laying down. Of course, he'll lay down for about 10 more seconds. He can't help it. Oh my god. A guinea pig flop is about the cutest thing. Otter, you're pushing your luck, my man. Just chill. Rest your head on that tunnel. Take a nap. Good, good, good. All right. I'm feeling really good about this. I think the next step, I'm going to watch them with the camera off for a little while, make sure that it stays stable like this, and they're going to go into Fox's cage. All right, I guess I lied. I'm going to give them a little bit of lettuce to share, and then I'm going to put them in Fox's cage, but I still have to clean the cage out and put new fleece down. And that potentially may require some laundry, so they might be stuck in here for another hour or two, which is fine. Okay, very exciting. Since this is Fox's house, we're gonna put Fox back first. There we go. Let's go get Otter. Otter Pop. Gotcha. Gotcha, little Otter Pop. Okay. There he goes. Okay. So I always tell people, when you get home, pretty much do what we already did. So that's why I don't have the Fiddlesticks tunnel in at the moment. I don't have the pig room bed. But I do have the Snack Shack log. So there's 3 places for them to eat hay from. And they got their tunnels. And I would anticipate that they're going to be a little crazy. I can put the pellet bowl in also. You want to anticipate that they're going to start the process a little bit all over, a little rumbling, a little dominance, some marking, some peeing and pooping. If they don't and they just act like they're fine, then that's great. But I would anticipate that Fox is going to be like, this is my house. Even though he hasn't been here for too long in this space. Oh, I still miss, of course, I miss Onyx. And I miss Shrimp. And this has been a very sad, traumatic time losing these piggies. But we just have to keep on going. So I'm going to watch them here for a little bit. They seem pretty calm. What we want to see is, we want to see Fox kind of just go back to his chilling. He's chilling. Maybe he takes a nap. Maybe he starts eating some hay and he leaves Otter alone. That's what we want to see. When he goes into these tunnels, he might be marking them, you know, which is basically peeing or wiping his perennial sac, right? That funky sac that's right next to his butt. That's what you'll see them drag their butts. So that's the first clue that I'm looking for. Is now, like I said, I would expect them to be rambunctious with each other, but I'm looking for Fox to sort of go about his business. Right, so he's drinking some water, that's good. We want to see him eat some hay. I can take that other funky hay from the playpen that has the herbal blends. And I can put that here. Right? Fox, are you going to eat some hay and just chill? But very calm. The whining and the crying from Otter before and just the overall lack of trust seems to be gone. But he's also not acting like a humpy, aggressive teenager. He is cute. He really is cute. Hi, Pippi. Hi, Pippi. What are you doing? Pee-pee-poo. So there we go. Fox is focusing on the hay. Otter's checking out his new surroundings. He's drinking water. I can also take the pellets that was in his old bowl. Now there's some of his funky poops are in these pellets. I prefer to not pour those in to this bowl. There we go. And here's a carrot that he didn't finish. You gonna take that, Fox? So this looks good. This looks good. I'm gonna watch them for a few more, well, probably like an hour or so, and then we'll get the final thoughts. And so the next stage is to put in the rest of their furniture, but I'm just gonna let them do their thing right now. Keep your fingers crossed. All right. The bed is back, and the tunnel is back. Let's put this little bed back. Actually, let me swap out and put this bed back, but I want to make sure it's clean. Okay. New pad in there. Okay. There you go, boys. All right. Now we got all the stuff for them to fight over. And just like I said before, when you introduce new things, that generally the dominant one has to assert his dominance. There doesn't have to be a dominant one, but Fox is a butthead. So after the initial successful bonding in the neutral area, it's a crucial point when we transferred them into the permanent enclosure, and then again when we started adding all of the furniture back. But look at this. I don't know if you could see that. Fox is like wiping his butt on everything. Well, he's flaring his perennial sac, and then that funk he's wiping. So we're hoping that this kind of frantic craziness will calm down. Because this is like the make or break. See, there was a little, I wouldn't call that a nip, but definitely something that we don't want to see. We want them to just chill. So again, it's proven that Otter is pretty chill. Let's take this off here. Otter's pretty chill, and it's really all about Fox being tolerant. Otter, what happened to your ears? That's yours. That's yours, Fox. This bed is yours too, but I want you to share. You're so good for sharing. Otter needed a home, and you needed a friend. Right? So, I think this is going to work out. Very happy. Again, this is a miracle. It's a miracle, Fox. Here, Foxy. Why don't you just sit here and enjoy some of that hay. It's got the herbal blends mixed into it. No? Well, don't be a butt. He's like, but that's my job. I have to be a butt for a little while. Please don't. We can't just sit around all day being guinea pig babysitters. And thank you guys for everybody who actually sat through this whole video. I hope that you found the behavior interesting. I really think there's a lot to learn. And I did say before, you don't want to separate them. You don't want to misinterpret these signs and say, oh, my piggy's getting stressed out. This is, my piggy's being upset. My piggies are being territorial. None of that matters. They will work it out. If they don't draw blood, they will work it out. Every bond is different, so that's why watching a couple of these different bonding videos really can expand your knowledge and understanding of typical guinea pig behavior. Boy bonding is exponentially harder than girl bonding, but I do have some girl bonding videos in the playlist as well. But you don't want to separate them too soon for no reason or for the wrong reasons, and you also don't want to let them go on too long or assume. Now, if there's somebody gets nipped and maybe a little blood is drawn, but it doesn't seem that bad, can they recover? Maybe. It's not likely, but maybe. But this has gone very, very well. But of course, there were times where I think some people would say, oh, Fox is chasing him too much. Otter is making crying sounds, and they would just stop it right there. They don't have to braid each other's hair to be considered bonded. They have to coexist peacefully. And when it comes to boys and only a 20% chance of any two piggies bonding, that's really all you can hope for. If they really bond more strongly over time, that's great. Some piggies, especially seniors, when you bond them, they can really bond quickly. But I think I'm about to declare it a success. So of course we're going to see some carnage and, you know, all of that work, all of that patience, all of that anxiety for nothing. No, but I think this has worked out. We're going to call this a match, and, you know, hit that subscribe. Like I said, stay in the loop, and I'll let you know if anything changes. But for right now, this has been really good. This is a 2x4 Cagetopia cage. You know, if you check out the cage setup section of my care guide, there is a link with a discount, and it helps support my rescue efforts and my ability to make videos like this. So support Cagetopia if you want to upgrade your CNC cage. They've got some really awesome coroplast bases, really nice grids, and some really thoughtful setups. So check those out. And please take a look at the free guinea pig care guide on my website. There's also a contact page. You can message me directly, and I welcome those questions. And or, you know, you just want to share some pictures of your piggies, or give me some feedback. I really appreciate that. All right, until next time, thanks for watching.